Welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about how to begin integrating your shadow or becoming comfortable with the aspects of yourself that may be repressed. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Spiritual Boss. I'm your host, Master J. I'm a Vietnamese American shaman, and the past decade I have been on a spiritual expedition, traveling all over the world and helping people all over the world, anywhere from multi-millionaires to babies, grandmas, every single thing in between. I've worked with all different types of human beings, and I am tasked with the divine duty to work with the modern world on these ancient spiritual sicknesses or psychological factors that we may come in contact with in the modern world where we don't have many solutions, and to bring it to light to you. So today we're going to talk about the shadow side. What is the shadow side exactly? In this case, I can use myself for an example. And when you look at your shadow side, you want to look back to your childhood. And oftentimes you'll find the things that you repressed were shaped and molded into you by your environment. Shadow side is the thing that always haunts you, and you always seem to manifest these situations in life where it bugs you to a unproportional amount. So personally, my shadow side, which I've found recently, is when I was a kid, I was a very violent and not violent, but outspoken child. And the world and my family shamed me for being a rebel. And I found that oftentimes I would abandon people or leave jobs or just quit jobs. There's my shadow side of trying to regain control of this inner aggression that I repressed. Even to this day, I have a fear of hurting people. That's my dark side. I have a fear of telling people that they're stupid and that they're idiots because there's some shame that's been bred into me. To understand your shadow side is to understand that there's a socially acceptable side to you. And there's a side of you that is not necessarily the real you, but the opposite. Oftentimes it's the opposite of that side of you you bring to society. I like to think of him as Venom in Spider-Man. We are Venom, right? Eddie Brock and Venom, two symbiotes. They have a symbiotic relationship with each other. To integrate your shadow side, to master your shadow side, is to begin looking at your shadow, your deep, dark desires, your repressed desires, that inner voice inside of you as a symbiote, because it's actually you. It's not something to repress. It's another side of you. And what happens when Eddie Brock merges with Venom? They go, we are Venom. It's not he is Venom. It's not Eddie is Venom. It's we are Venom. And in that case, they begin to work together and they become their most powerful and profound version. It's to understand inside of you, there's a monster. There's a monster, there's a symbiote inside of you who, if you let control your life, will wreak havoc and destroy things, right? The Venom symbiote, he eats brains. And then there's another side of you that needs to be socially acceptable in society because that's how we've been bred. You have two versions inside of you. Some of us have multiple versions inside of us, but oftentimes the multiple versions inside of us are manifestations of the two versions, one that we repress and one that we kind of force to fit into a mold. And in between that, in the balance, is the real you, the real Venom. Personally, I call my own shadow side Adolf Hitler, named after the famous madman. It is also because he and I took an IQ test. He and I, we share the same IQ. So Jadolf and Adolf, we both have a 141 IQ. And part of my dark side is that. It's to think that I am superior to other human beings, because for so long I repressed it, and so long as a shaman, so long as a spiritual healer, I played this very humble character, accepting the faults of other people, taking on the faults of other people, and in a way I was gaslit into thinking I needed to be a saint and save the whole world. When I discerned that there were two sides of me and integrated Jadolf and Martin Luther J is my other side, there lies what we can call true authenticity or freedom to exist as oneself. You have to find a balance, or the dark side, the repressed side, is going to manifest itself. It's this energy that is leaking, and it's going to leak out, and it's going to leak out, and it's going to find some way to destroy your life. Perhaps you're about to get in a good relationship. Perhaps you're about to get a new job, and you find this shadow side. It will come back and haunt you, and it will sabotage you at the worst moments when life can just about to get great, or you just hit success. That shadow side is going to come. Oftentimes people hit their lucky break and then they feel depressed, or they feel like imposters, or they're about to get successful in a relationship and then they sabotage it immediately, because that's that shadow that they have not acknowledged and it's being projected out onto their reality. Frequency is the name of the game. Frequency is the name of this reality. Frequency is the name of the universe. And you hold these, what we can consider shadow frequencies inside you, but they're just parts of you that need to be acknowledged. So I question you. I want you to look at your shadow. What's your shadow within? Oftentimes, people will have shadow sides of, immediately what comes to mind, there are people who cannot show their emotions because they had to hide their emotions, right, in a survival state if they grew up in the ghetto or hood like me. There are people who don't know how to set boundaries, to act nice all the time. And then there are people who want to have the world give everything to them and be lazy. And then they hate on other people's accomplishments. Each one of these things that you dislike in other people will show you a certain shadow in yourself. And when you integrate these characters, when you start to acknowledge the dark side within you, that is when you will find the most powerful, authentic version of yourself. The boss frequency version of yourself exists on all spectrums within you. So my shadow side, when I'm talking to you, let me tell you something. Half of me thinks you're an idiot. It thinks I'm superior to you because I'm a gifted spiritual worker and I've created the life of my dreams, and you're wasting your time. You've probably done dog shit with your life. And part of me thinks of that when I work with people. And then the other part of me, which is the ultra empathetic part of me, understands that life is full of duality and life is full of nuance. And sometimes people don't know what they don't know. Sometimes people are born into a situation where they're shaped and molded into being who they are, right? They don't know any better. They've been shamed, they've been guilted, they've been abused. So without a balance in between both of those characters, you lean one side to too understanding, you lean one side to too dismissive and full of hate. You don't really get anywhere with that. You get too extreme and you miss out on the joy of life. The joy of life is found in the balance between the light, what we call the light, and what we call the shadow. They're actually just two sides of the same coin, and being able to exist and being able to carry yourself within both realms. You can be a kind person, you can be successful, you don't have to be an asshole. The world is not all black and white. But most of the times, if my shadow takes over, I think you're a moron. And somebody might have to tell you this. You are being a moron. You need to get your life together. You need to actually take action on your dreams. You need to actually go somewhere. You need to actually do something with the time you have left. And the other side of me will tell you, if you shift your inner world, you begin to love. You begin to be whole again. You begin to recollect the fragments of your soul and hold yourself in a core belief system and begin to love yourself. You will be okay. The truth is, both of those things are the truth. There are different forms of delivery, and there are different viewpoints of the world. And that's what spiritual boss is. We take the motivation, we take the energy of hate, of dryness, of action, and combine it with the love, with the light, with the purity that exists within all human beings. And there is a sweet spot, there is a balance there. And that balance is within you. That balance is within all human beings. Sometimes we hate, sometimes we love. Love and hate are the exact same thing. They're two sides of the same spectrum. Without love, there would be no hate. Without hate, there would be no love. Without morons, there would be no J. Without J, there would be no morons to identify. To integrate your shadow is to begin to look at the things that you may repress, or the things that you may see in others that trigger you. When you have that friend who may be more successful than you, does it trigger something in you? When you have that person who takes care of their body, does it trigger something in you? When you have that friend who doesn't care and it's so carefree. Does that trigger you because you care so much? All things can teach us about ourselves, and they can teach us about our shadow. When you sacrifice so much and you see that someone else is selfish, how does that make you feel? These are the questions one must ask, and these are the conversations one must have with oneself to begin integrating the shadow. When the shadow is brought into the light, it is no longer the shadow. It is just you. It is you and the symbiote. We are Venom. Eddie, I want to go eat some brains, Eddie.